Hello. Today I will be talking about the LEED exam and the LEED Green Building Certification System. My name is Devin Solomon. This is my outline. So I will be giving an introduction about LEED. What is LEED? What are the different categories in LEED? The minimum program requirement if you want to apply for LEED, and finally how to take LEED Green Associate exam. Tips for the exam, how to study, important links and documents, all the things I'll be talking about today. First of all, this is a bigger picture. Why do we need to have green building certification system? It's very important to know that buildings account for 38% of the carbon dioxide emissions. They consume lots of water, they consume electricity, so it's worse, or it's very important to account for the buildings that we build, and to make sure that we are accounting for all those emissions, to account for all this electricity consumption, to try to save water, to try to save electricity. So this is a big objective of green building certification system. First of all, as we can see on the map here, LEED is not the only green building certification system. Just to have the bigger picture, each country developed its own green building certification system. So we have leadership in energy and environmental design, which is mostly in the United States. We have LEED in India. It's developed for their own use. We have Green Star. This is in Australia. We have the German Sustainable Building Council, or the German building certification system. So each country of those developed its own building certification system to account for the difficulties they face in their own country and their own problems regarding electricity, regarding materials scarcity, all the things. So why do we need to use them at the first place? Because just as I said, we need to save energy, we need to save water, we need to save in maintenance, we need to save in waste. So if you developed your building right from the beginning, you will save lots of money, because you will save energy, you will save water, you will save materials. So this is the objective of performing the green building certification system. And how to start it, or when to start it. It's recommended to start it at the early stage of your design, to put certain objectives, goals on what do you want to achieve. Do you want to achieve savings in water? It's more important for you to achieve savings in energy. It's more important for you to save on materials, to get better indoor environmental quality. So why do we do it at the very first place? You can have a meeting, or you can ask your stakeholders, the stakeholders involved, the owner, what do you want to achieve from this design or from this building? LEED. What is LEED, or what does LEED stand for? This is leadership in energy and environmental design. They have mission, they have vision. Their mission is to care about sustainable and green building. This is their mission, and they want to adopt it, or to make it on a universal level. It was developed, or the LEED was developed with certain system goals or objectives or pillars. Mostly they care about climate change. They want to contribute to climate change mitigation, or they care about human health, as they want to protect water, as they want to protect the ecosystem, they want to protect materials, they care about local economy. and they have certain objectives or goals to maintain or to enhance the social equity. So those are the goals that the LEED was developed, or the LEED care about. This is just to give you an idea when was or the LEED development timeline. So it's at a very early start, or it's around the 1993, where they started to think about doing something like a green building certification system. So in 1993, we have the Green Building Council. It was almost developed, and then it was they developed LEED at the very start in 1998, and then they developed it more, or we have more recent version of the LEED. I think from 2019 to 2015 and more, till the system, or till the version we have now. To give you an idea, or if you want to know how do project look like, you can have access to this database. It's gives you, or you can have, you can filter by country location or country region, by state, by the rating system, which rating system is this, whether it's old or new, the certification level, just to give you an idea of the kind of projects that were previously developed using LEED in number. Top countries, LEED is used worldwide, not only in the United States. So we have other countries: China, Turkey, Germany, Canada, India, Mexico, and many other. So we have these numbers, which is also it's very high. This is not a low percentage. So we have still certain countries just using LEED outside of the United States. So which buildings LEED certify? Is it only for building design and construction? Is it only for new construction? No, it's for, we have a LEED for every project, whether you are doing building design and construction for a new construction, whether you're doing any interior fit out, whether you're doing any operation and maintenance, you still have the opportunity to save or to account for certain reduction in water. If you are developing a new neighborhood, if you are building it for families, for houses, for homes, if you are developing it even on a community or on a city level, you still have the opportunity to use LEED. LEED has certain requirements. It should be, or the project should be on a permanent location. It should have a certain reasonable site boundary, and it should have certain project size requirement. It's not for very small projects, for example. No, there is a certain amount or a minimum requirement. If you need project size requirement, a minimum project size requirement, if you think to do, or if you are thinking to apply for this LEED Green Building Certification System. Those are the LEED, or this is the scoring criteria that you will have to gain certain points on those criteria, and then finally those points are summed up, and based on this summation, if you scored a certain number of points, then you get awarded this this kind of LEED certification. So we have integrative process. We have it cares about exploring energy and water related improvement. This is very early in design. We think about what kind of of water do you want to save? What is the amount of energy you're targeting? This is performed at the very start of the project, because the earliest, the better or the best. Because if you moved later into your project and you already bought certain devices, for example, to use for your energy, or certain devices to use for your water, it's very late already because you have already purchased things. So it's very late to change your mind. It's just going to be, you're going to lose what you have already performed because of you decided late on this. Location and transportation, this is mostly, it cares about if you are developing or it cares about to reduce the amount of vehicles, miles or kilometers traveled. So you care if you are developing a project, you want to make sure that you will not be using lots of or many vehicles to reach this kind of project. Because more vehicles mean more emissions, and this is not a good design if you care about your emissions. You care about water, or it cares about the water efficiency. It talks about how you have to find opportunities to save on water, whether by recycling, whether by doing or using appliances that are efficient. Energy and atmosphere, here they care about using or saving more on energy. This chapter talks about various things about energy tracking system, building commissioning, materials and resources. Here they care about the use of materials from cradle, from the very early moment the material is born till the material dies and till the material is put into grave. So they talk about environmental product declarations, they talk about performing environmental life cycle assessment, about reducing your overall building, the impact of your building. And then sustainable sites, they care about a lot of things, for example, performing environmental impact assessment. They care about whether you have any contamination on your site, whether you are endangering any species, whether you are endangering any kinds of plants, of birds, and then innovation. So if you don't have any credits here and you come up with a very innovative ideas, it's very creative, then this you can also get awarded a certain number of points just for being innovative. You got an idea that's very interesting that nobody else got before you, so you might still be applicable to gain certain number of points. And we have also regional priority. Just this is it cares about if you solve the problems in your community. For example, certain countries or certain regions have problems in water, certain regions have problems in energy, certain countries have problems in materials. So if you come and solve one of those issues in your region, you still gain a number of points because you cared about your country or about your community or about the problems existing in this place. Also, if you noticed here, this is the scoring criteria, or this is the scoring checklist. It's divided into something called prerequisites, and it's divided into something called credits. You do not need or you do not earn any points if you used or if you applied as a prerequisite. This is the minimum requirements to do. So this is something you will have to do anyway, but you do not gain any points on it. And we have the credits. This is the credits. This is, you need to gain points on this. You need to, in order to get your certification from the LEED. So if you added all these numbers, if you got 1 point here, 2 points here, 1 point here, 3 points here, 2 points, 1 point, so all these numbers are added. Here added in each module or in each category, and then you gain or you achieve a certain number of points, and you get this certification system or this or the LEED. So this is also an example. For every project, they have a number of, or they have a checklist. If you noticed here we have, this is something for new construction and major renovation. And here we have this checklist is for schools. It is the same categories here. If you talk about location and transportation, we have location and transportation here. We have sustainable sites here. So it's the same, but the number of points are different because the importance of each and every credits varies, or it's different from one project to the other. So here for location and transportation in building new construction and major renovation, here you gain 16 points, but on the other hand, if you are doing or if you're applying for a school, then you get 15 points or 15 points. If you're applying here for sustainable sites, you gain 10, here you gain 12. Because just the distribution of points depends on your type of project, because due to the importance of this credit to this type of project. Then, after you achieve this number of points, if you got from 14 to 49 points, then you achieved the certified. If you achieved, or if you collected from 50 to 59, then you achieved the silver. And if you collected from 60 to 79, then you get the gold. And if you achieved more than 80 points, you got the platinum. And of course, the higher, the better. The higher the number of points you achieve, the higher the awards you get. So that's why it starts from certified to platinum. So this is again a checklist for a school. They did their designs and everything, and they got a total number of points of 80 over 110. So this is how it is counted. Those numbers here are counted, and you get your total number here, and you get your total number here, and then you add all of them together. And then finally, you get the total score on your building, which is 80 here over 110. And then finally, they got awarded the platinum because they achieved the 80. So, is there or are there any important resources if you have a project, or if you want even to have a look before deciding to take the LEED exam? Yes. So this is the one of the most important resources. This document just collects all the credits you have for different projects or for different kind of projects. So this is, for example, the version 4, LEED version 4 for building design and construction. It explains everything. So this is the intent of this credit, the requirements of this credit, and what do you need to do it in order to achieve this credit. This is a PDF document just available for everyone to use, free for if you want to get it. It's available online, open access. We have also this LEED credit library if you want to access it, and if you want to have something like an online or more dynamic format for LEED credits, if you don't like reading or if you don't like searching word by word, then you can just go to this type of platform or online and enter your search criteria, and your credit is going to appear, and then you can read it carefully, what's required in this type of credit, what are the intent, what are the requirements. Just a different format if you are more interested in this. We have also one of the very interesting or one of the most important resources to share or to say, which is the version 4, something like glossary or dictionary of terms with translations. If you're not interested, or if you don't want to, or if your first language is not English and you prefer to take it, or you prefer to study or to see the version of the LEED or the terms of the LEED in any different language, you still can do this. This sheet is also available online. It's an Excel sheet. You can download it and you can get a look on what are the terms or terminologies used for or inside a LEED with all the translations. The available languages are Arabic, Chinese, Spanish, Portuguese, German, Japanese, Korean, and Italian. And of course, it's available in English. So here we come to the LEED Green Associate exam. So who benefits from becoming a LEED Green Associate person? Mostly it's for everybody or for anyone who is interested to achieve or to become, or anyone interested in building certification or in green building. It can be ecology student, someone who is studying green building certification system, or someone whose studies are related to green buildings. Can be just engineer who works in something related to green buildings, architects while they design, contractors, real estate professionals, neighborhood planners, if they plan for any city, for example, or any neighborhood, and as they care about their emission, their energy, they still can become LEED Green Associate. If you're a designer, manager, so it's for everyone, and anyone can have it. So what is or where is the LEED Green Associate exam? And are there any higher things? So normally the very first step or the very first thing is, or certificate is the LEED Green Associate exam. It's something a little bit general, and then when you gain the basic understanding of the green building certification system, talks very general to a certain extent, and then here we come a little bit higher. We become more more specific or more specialized in certain kinds of projects. So we have here the LEED accredited professional, and a little bit higher, it's a LEED accredited, should maintain the LEED fellow, which is here tier 3. LEED, you become a LEED fellow if you have the LEED accredited professional, and then with a more with a little bit higher kind of experience. So the exam is 2 hours exam, and you need to answer 100 multiple choice questions. And after the exam, you need to have to maintain your license or your certificate, and you need to earn 15 continuing education hours within 2 years of passing your exam. This is just to make sure that you are in contact with what's happening regarding LEED, because LEED is always changing, so you want to make sure that you are up to date on what's happening on the industry. Registration process, this is the link if you want to register. This is the link for the LEED Green Associate Candidate Handbook as a whole. You can, if you open it, then you'll find all the relevant information. So you have to produce or to create an account, and then you have to make sure that your name is matching exactly your ID, no nicknames. It has to match exactly your legal ID document. The exam is divided into recall questions, application questions, and analysis questions. So the fees is $250, but for students it's $100. So I would just like to announce this for students. It's good news. If you're still a student, just go and take the exam now. You have reduced fees. There is no requirement or something you need to do to enter the exam. Everyone or anyone who is interested or has a background regarding green building certification system, he can just enter to take the exam. We'll talk about how or relevant materials to take or to have a look at before entering the exam. As discussed, also, you can take the exam in many languages. This is Arabic, Brazilian, Portuguese, Chinese, French, German, Japanese, and Korean. You need to have a passing score of 170 out of 200. And then you can pass your exam. The knowledge domains or the type of questions you're going to have. This is just LEED process, integrative strategies, location and transportation. So this is on the general modules of the LEED, sustainable sites, water efficiency, energy and atmospheres, materials and resources, indoor environmental quality, and project surroundings and public outreach. So this is a kind just an illustrations or for the knowledge domains for people who don't have or want to have a closer look before deciding whether or not to take the exam. This is just to give you an illustration on the kind of domains. If you want to read this first before deciding to enter the exam, you're welcome. If you want to do other things, maybe looking for the type of credits first to have a general idea, then you can do this, just depending on how or on your way of learning. Sustainable sites, 7 questions, what is the domain, what does it ask about? Those things or those criteria you should have an idea about what you should know regarding each part. And then we come also to a very important thing, which how to take the exam. If you want to take the exam, you can register at a Epometric Test Center. This is it's a center. It's available in most of the countries recently, and now you have the opportunity to take it from home or online. You can have more information. So this is a remote assessment. If you are interested, this is a Prometric website. Just enter into this link, and you have the opportunity to take the exam remotely if you are interested, or if it's better for you to take the exam online. For those who don't like to take exams online and like to do it physically, you still have the opportunity to take it on a certain physically, just in front of you. Go to a test center, present your ID, and you take it on site. It's up to you. This depends on what type of learner you are. So some people understand, or some people learn by seeing things. Some people learn by what they do. Some people learn by hearing. Some people learn by what they write. So it's up to you to decide on how you would like to study for this exam. But it's very important to know first what type of learner you are, just to know what is the best method to know or to take the exam, not only for the LEED exam. If you want to study later for anything else, this is one of the major things that no one cares about. They do or they study in a way that it doesn't in a way, and then later they claim that they didn't get the result they want. Useful exam resources. So this is a collection of all the exam resources that you need to look or to have a look at if you are interested in studying associate exam. I will leave all the links in the comments. So this is 2-week study plan. one of the most interesting also resources that you can study on a plan. If you're very busy, for example, then you can make yourself a plan. Some people can study in 2 weeks, some people can make it in 1 month, some people 3 months. It depends on the amount of knowledge you have on the green building certification system. Some people work in green building certification system for a long time. Maybe it's your first time to hear about this green building certification system, then it will take a bit longer time compared to someone who has been already studying this or working on this for a very long time. This is the useful exam resources, as I discussed. This is the Excel sheet I have been talking about. So this is how it looked like, just the term in different languages. This sheet is not only important for people who are interested to get the exam, but also if you work later and you don't know, or you have a project coming to you and then you don't know what type of, what is the translation or what is the definition of this word, then you might resort to this Excel sheet. It's also very, very beneficial. So this is a free exam resources. This is a free 30 free questions related to the exam. It's free exam resources. If you want to have a sample of how will the exam look like, this is the link is over here, and just enter register, and they will send you a sample of your part of this exam. It just matches the type of questions you're going to read or to get in your real exam. Then this is just some type of questions from this exam that is online. So they ask you about something, and then you have to make sure that you know the definitions already existing in the original handbook where you will be studying for the LEED Green Associate exam. Sometimes it's a little bit confusing. However, if you manage to do this, or if you manage to properly study, then it will not be a problem to pass the real exam. This is also some questions or just multiple choice questions, and you need to select the correct answer based on what you studied. Useful exam resources, you can have also for example, here, this is LEED for buildings are certified, people are accredited. So this is one of the things or terms you need to differentiate, and you will not know this except when you go through the LEED exam materials. We have, or the LEED discuss ASHRAE standards. You have to make sure that you know the numbers. So it's 90.1, 55, 62.1, and 52.2, but which for which? And then you get questions to ask about which standard you have to use if you have a certain type of design. So you have to make sure those things are in your mind. Certified, what's the difference between certified, one with capital letter and then the other is just with low, with just a normal C and no capitalization. So you have to know what is for what. So for example, here, this is when your program requirement prerequisite earned between 40 to 49 credits. This is a certified. And then any certification level, whether certified, silver, gold, platinum, this is certified with lower C. So you have to make sure that you know all those kind of tricks before entering the exam. There are lots of study halls as well. So I collected here all the links related to how to pass the exams, exercises, study calls. This is also, if you want to have real practice for your exam, then this is one of the best resources. They give you the opportunity to practice the real exam, and you have something like a data bank or a data bank for exams. So you have lots of exams. where you can practice actually, and it's recorded like a normal, the time is recorded like in the normal exam, just to practice the atmosphere of the real exam. So it's also very important to have this kind of questions. You will receive access to 600 questions, and this is type of questions you're going to have in your real exam will be very similar to this kind of questions. This is highly recommended. It's good to take this kind of test just to have you ready, to make you ready for your real exam. One thing to note is that if you purchase this kind of tests, then you will have access to them only for 120 days, and then they will expire. So you have to make sure that you are prepared, or you will pass the exam during around 120 days. Otherwise, this practice exam will expire anyway. So GBES is one of the best places to get those exams from. We have lots of questions in different pools. So each exam has 100 questions. Those questions are timed, and then you can practice at any time, morning, evening, it's yours once you buy this kind of bundle. The system it works with is really easy, just something like an application. And then study groups, if you are more interested, or if it's easier for you to have or to study in groups, you still have the opportunity to do this. If you have a local chapter, USGBC chapter in your country, this is fine, you can join it. If you have other friends or colleagues taking the LEED Green Associate exam, then you can study together. So it's also encouraged if you prefer studying in groups. Now, how to know that you are ready to pass the exam. If you scored a good score in your trial exams, I think it's now 80%, then you can pass the exams, the real exam. I think the score was 80%, if they didn't change, or 85. The number is not in my mind now, but it's if you scored a certain score, then you'll be able to pass the real exam. Then what will happen after the exam? After the exam, you're going to get your results. It's if you got 170 score out of 200, then this is you passed your exam. After you do your exam, you press submit, and then you get your scores on the spot, and whether you passed the exam or not. And then comes here the process for maintaining your credential. You have to make sure to take 15 continuing educational units within a period of 2 years after passing your exam. What are the continuing educational units? It can be courses online, it can be courses in person, it can be by reading something related to USGBC. So these are the numbers. If you are general, you can take 12 of them, or 12 of the credits should be general, and 3 credit hours or continuing educational units should be specific. The general are for something very general related to the green building, such as environmental sustainability, human health, resiliency. So it's something very general, it's not very specific. And then here, if you are talking about the LEED specific courses, so it's something very related to LEED. For example, volunteering on rating system development, authoring LEED case studies. So it's something related to LEED. So this is also, if you are interested for volunteering opportunities, this is the link. And one more thing is that you should pay a fee of $85 for both, for LEED Green Associate and LEED Accredited Professionals, if you want to maintain your credential in addition to the 15 credit hours or 15 continuing educational units. Then thank you for this. And if you have any questions, you can send me all your information or all your questions, and I will try to respond to them and help you out. Thank you all, and I wish you a great rest of your day.